Good morning, good morning. Well, it's actually afternoon here for me, so I guess good afternoon. So I'm back in my little spot, and today I kind of want to talk about, I guess, one of my mantras, you can say. Quite honestly, the way that I look about it, I guess my mentality, you could say, is if you can't do something, then do it again. I think that there are a lot of people, when they try to do something that first time and they can't do it, they try to get someone else to do it, or they kind of offload it onto somebody else. But for me, if I find out that I can't do something, I think to myself, like, I need to learn how to do this. Like, it can't be that hard, right? Nobody's actually born knowing how to do anything. Everybody learns how to do things. And just because you didn't learn before doesn't mean you can't learn now. I don't know if you've ever heard of the basket weaving theory, but essentially it's, you could be the best basket weaver in the entire world, but you would have never found out because you've never woven a basket before. You know what I mean? I like to try a bunch of different things out. I'm kind of known for having like random interests because you never know what you're gonna be good at until you kind of try it yourself. I went to my first flower arrangement workshop and it was kind of like a little bit on a whim. Like, I just had a free afternoon and I saw the right Instagram ad, but I came in and it was honestly a great time. And the teacher came to me and was like, "Oh, you must be doing this a lot. You must do a lot of flower arrangements at home." And I was like, not really. I usually just buy flowers. But yeah, I didn't know, but I'm actually very good at flower arrangements. I've been to other workshops after that, and every time I get that compliment, I'm like, "Oh, okay, I guess I can do this." But I do think that I really like color schemes, and I love it when different colors or unexpected color schemes kind of come together. And I think because I already kind of have that viewpoint, it's easier for me to do flower arrangements because that's essentially what it is. It's just kind of picking different flowers together and making it all kind of cohesive, you know. But on the other hand, I've done a rug tufting workshop before and it was so hard. Like, I don't have much arm strength, and those like rug tufting guns is actually quite a bit of work. Like, like you have to hold it quite steady to be able to get like a clean line. And so yeah, like my first time doing rug tufting, it wasn't super great. Thank God I picked like a simple design, but it didn't look that amazing either, you know. And when I brought it home over like the next week or 2 weeks, it kind of slowly fell apart a bit, you know. Rug tufting is not my thing. But like at the same time, if I came back a second time, I'm sure that my second rug is going to be better than my first rug, you know? Maybe this time it wouldn't fall apart. After that experience, I have like this weird appreciation for rugs. Now that I know how much work and how much like focus you have to put into it, I respect the craft of rug tufting a lot more. I actually have like a very interesting rug that's still on my wish list. I haven't gotten it yet. I don't need it exactly. I already have a rug where I would put it, so I don't need it, but I'll get it later. Not yet, but maybe a little later. But yeah, honestly, I'm kind of up for trying everything at least once, you know, except for drugs. Don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. I also think that a lot of things we see in other people, a lot of traits or talents that they have, it didn't just come naturally, you know. It's probably that they've done it before. Last year, a friend of mine had a wedding and she told me a few months in advance, like, "Hey, can you like help me like hype up people and stuff for the reception dinner?" I was like, "Oh, you want me to herd people? Yeah, I can do that. I can do that." And so when we got to the dinner, I knew that quite a few people had speeches ready. I wanted to do a speech as well because the guy that she just married, like her new husband, it was because me, her, and another friend were sitting in Singapore after dance class one day and we were swiping on Tinder for her. And so imagine if me and my friend did not swipe right for her, that would have never happened. You're like, that's kind of a wild story. Talk about the butterfly effect. So yeah, I had a speech ready too, but nobody wanted to do it first. And I saw everyone being like very timid and shy, and I was like, what's going on? Somebody give me the mic. Somebody give me the mic. And so I grabbed the mic and I basically started off. I welcomed everybody, did my speech. And then after that, everyone was like, "Let me go next, let me go next, let me go next." You know, sometimes it just takes one person to take that first step. And so the next morning, there were some wedding guests that came to me and they told me, like, "You should really consider a career in public speaking. Like, you are just so naturally good in front of people. Like, you seem so calm and so like at home up there." And I kind of had to tell them, yeah, I've done this before. I actually did this episode. I used to host events, host TV shows. You know, like I tell that story to say, like, something that we might deem natural in somebody else maybe they just did it before, so you kind of also have to cut yourself some slack. Maybe you're not as good because you just haven't done it yet. Like a lot of people say, Cindy, you walk around in heels so well. And I'm like, well, yeah, I was trained by an ex-Miss Russia, but people don't really know those details about you when they just meet you or when they just see you doing your thing. So give yourself that chance, give yourself that time. And on that note, I've been told that I'm very easy to talk to. And that's because, listen, years ago, you have no idea how many events I went to. Either it was me supporting somebody, I had an obligation or whatever. Like, there were so many times that I would be standing in a room that I didn't know anybody around me. And after a while, after looking at people and looking left and right, you kind of just eventually talk. And so I'm really good at conversation because I've just done it multiple times to kind of just walk up to a person and say hello. Like, for example, like if you're at a work conference and you feel awkward and you feel a little shy and kind of like, I don't feel as comfortable here, you kind of have to remember that everyone else in the room probably thinks the same way. Like, everyone's in the same position, And so just go up and say hi. Like, you never know what's gonna come from a hi, For me, I have this personal rule that if we're in the same room, we should be able to have a conversation. It doesn't matter what status you have, how much money you have, what title you're at. Like, if we can't talk or I can't come up and say hi and have a conversation with you, that sounds more like a you problem than a me problem, And sometimes you're not gonna click with everybody, but just go up and say hi first. So my older brother, he was heavily autistic growing up. And so it took him a much longer time to learn the things that other kids could do, like tying shoelaces or holding chopsticks. Like, it always took a lot longer. And my mother's mentality with it is like, my kid will be able to do the same thing those other kids do. He might just need a little bit more time. So I kind of grew up with this example of, if you keep trying and you keep putting effort into it, you probably will eventually be able to do it. There are limits, like there's disabilities and things like this, and sometimes not everything is possible, but you should give yourself the chance to try. And I do think that when you are learning something new, it does take an amount of putting your ego aside and accepting that you are in the student's position to be able to learn. It's with anything. If you're starting to learn something and because you're uncomfortable, you start to make fun of it or dismiss it or all of this kind of stuff, that alone is kind of stopping you from learning that new skill. Everybody has different struggles. Everybody has different challenges. It's like with my brother, he had his own challenges growing up and being in school. But there was another kid in the class that was eating glue. That other kid keeps breaking his pencils. Like, everybody has their own thing or their own area that they need to work on. And I think that it's very kind of a good reminder to have for yourself that other people have those struggles too. And so cut yourself the slack, give yourself the time. But yeah, like, we are all humans at the end of the day. We're all animals. If they can do it, you could probably do it too. Maybe you just need more time, But yeah, so I think that if you can't do something, do it again, and then again, and then again, and then again. And then one day, you'll look left and right and realize, oh damn, maybe I can't do this. Maybe that wasn't as impossible as I thought. Like, don't stop yourself before you give yourself a true chance. But yeah, that's kind of just my thoughts on it. I'll put more links to the playlist of all my sit and yap videos and vlogs and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you next time.